life. You should be choosing anthropology not just for civil service. You will come to know who you are. Who are you? Who are your ancestors? What are the defects we have? Why we have? We study in depth with respect to genetics. So anthropology is one of the most important and suitable option. Not only that, I have already told you, there are many students who have ran away from other options. If you take the traditional optionals, traditional subjects like sociology, like philosophy, political science, all these are very vast and huge. So there you will be having a lot of confusion as to what to choose, what not to choose. There have been many students who choose many options like sociology, political science. Afterwards, philosophy. This is like the experience which I have gained, the feedback I have got from the students. They tried to prepare on their own and they were in utter confusion because these are classical subjects. Philosophy is there from the very beginning of man's thought. Similarly, political organizations. Similarly, society. So the options like political science, society are definitely very vast. Very vast. It is very difficult for an individual to comprehend. It definitely takes, in my opinion, more than 1 year to master. They're not simple things. But anthropology is not like that. It's a very simple, very systematic syllabus. If you take the literal number of topics which are there in the syllabus, they are pretty little high compared to other subjects. But they are specific. Mean to say, there may be some options where the syllabus is just like 1 or 2 pages, but they are very subjective. On the other hand, anthropology is very objective. So you will be having lot of clarity with respect to these things. So coming to once again as to why you should be choosing anthropology. Why you should be choosing anthropology? The reason I have made it clear that it can be covered in a very short period of span. Very short period. So having said this, if you take anthropology and if I am guiding you, so you can leave completely the whole subject to me. No need to bother about any PYQs, any material or anything like that. So before I get into this, let me ask did you do the homework we gave? So you forgot what was the homework. So did you go through the syllabus? Okay, please go through the syllabus because it is little elaborately given. You should be going like daily 3-4 times. Otherwise it is not possible to complete the whole thing. You will be confused if I explain the thing. So coming to the syllabus, this is the one which is there in your syllabus. The nature of culture. There you have got the concept and characteristics of culture. So here I think we have almost covered culture. The concept of culture and the characteristics. Then we have got civilization. After that, ethnocentrism and cultural relativism. So after completing that, we will be completing the society. So here in society, I will be just touching about some of the important aspects of society and how society and culture are related, which we have already discussed to a greater extent. Okay, having said that, let's get started. So what are the characteristics of culture which we have discussed? Those who like the characteristics you remember. Integrative. Culture is integrative. Means the parts of culture are not independent of each other. They are integrated. Then culture is shared. Very good. Then So here there is a reason why you should be making short notes. I repeat, the syllabus of UPSC is not difficult. You don't have integration, you don't have rocket science formulas. The things are pretty easy. But the exam is difficult. Why? The syllabus of UPSC is easy, but exam is difficult. Why? The reasons are twofold. One is syllabus is vast. Another is you have got more number of competitors by virtue of having more number of attempts. So what is the minimum number of attempts you have? 6. So a person who comes here, if he is dedicated, definitely he will be staying in this area or in this field for 8 years. He will be preparing for 1 year. అవలేదంటే ఒక 1 year గ్యాప్ తీసుకుంటాడు. You will be here. So the second thing, we cannot do anything. First thing, the syllabus is vast. What is the way out? How to tackle this? Syllabus చాలా వాస్ట్ ఉంటుంది. Anthropology చాలా చిన్న సబ్జెక్ట్. Other than that, how to deal with the vastness of the syllabus? ఏం చేయాలి? You should make very, very short notes. I repeat, it's not about short notes. మీకున్న ఏ నోట్స్ ఉన్నాయో అదన్నీ ఆల్రెడీ నోట్స్, షార్ట్ నోట్స్. The Lakshmikant book you may be having, the NCRT, they are themselves are notes. You shouldn't be making notes. You should be making very, very short notes. ఎలాగంటే the whole Lakshmikant book should be completed in just 15 to 20 pages, short notes. That you may have to repeat some 50 times. అప్పుడు దాకా మీకు క్లారిటీ రాదు. Say for example, if you are a beginner, if you are reading, say, medieval India, the names, the pronouncing those names may be very difficult. So here the only mantra is you should have very, very short notes. Until and unless you make this, clearing this examination is very, very difficult. రోజు ఆ షార్ట్ నోట్స్ చదువుతుండాలి. So have you made any short note of that kind? It's like in the beginning you shouldn't be making. You should just note down the points ante. So meeku till you have that short notes, till you revise some 20-30 times, you will be having lot of confusion. So very, very short notes, not even short notes. So we always have this habit. Arey na notes, my notes should be the one-stop solution. అన్నీ నా నోట్స్లే ఉండాలి. ఇలాగే మీరు అనుకుంటే that is the biggest wrong thing you are doing. So if you get any doubt, you can go to the book. They are very systematically indexed. So is the point clear to you? For all subjects, you should have very, very short notes. History, geography, polity, economy. This is what toppers have. IPS ఉంటారు, ఒక్క రోజు కూడా వాళ్ళకి దొరకదు for preparing. But even then they write and they get IAS. How? Because they have got their own Tamrapatras, short notes. They read them again and again. You should be doing that. But it is very, very difficult and it is not advisable to make very, very short notes in the very beginning. In the very beginning, you have to read. You have to read more. Underline the things there itself in different colors. Starting lo notes cheyali ane vellakudadu. Because ఎంత చేస్తే కూడా syllabus won't be moving. So for that you just be ready. So is these things clear to you? ఒకసారి ఇంకొకసారి చూడండి. And with concentration, this is the one most important thing which will be there with you forever if you take anthropology. Culture, civilization, ethnocentrism, cultural relativism. Then the next aspect is society and culture. After that, social institutions, social groups, social stratifications. What is an institution? What is an institution? You might have heard family is an institution. Is family is an institution? Is marriage is an institution? So here it's not about fault finding. See, I have not explained these things, but these are general terms. So you should be speaking out freely. I am not here to make find the fault in you, just the fact. So here institutions. What is institution? Educational institution. What does the term institution means? In simple term, institution is one which is run based on rules. ఏదైనా దీనికి సెట్ ఆఫ్ రూల్స్ రెగ్యులేషన్స్ ఉంటే దాన్ని ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ అని చెప్పొచ్చు. ఎనీథింగ్. సో ఫ్యామిలీ, క్యాన్ ఫ్యామిలీ బి కాల్డ్ అన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్? ఫ్యామిలీలో రూల్స్ ఉంటాయా లేదా? ఎనీ ఫ్యామిలీ రూల్స్ ఉంటాయా లేదా? Definitely they are. Say for example, if you take traditional family, who will go for hunting? Men. So who will be cooking and looking after the children? Women. So like that, there are many rules. Not only in family, in marriage. So family, marriage, kinship, all these things are institutions. So what is an institution? Just one keyword I gave you. What is an institution? Yes, run or based. You should be putting in your own words. Anything which is based on rules, fixed set of rules, framing the things. So that is an institution. Social institution ante em vastayi? So once again, family, marriage, kinship, these are the institutions. Religion, those things. So similarly, social groups. So here we have primary groups, secondary groups. So we'll discuss about that later. Then social stratification. So very important in your GS1 also. Maximum number of questions in GS1 society have come from social stratification, majorly caste system. This time it has not come. 2025 GS1 caste system gurinchi adagaledu, but every time you will be having that one. So social system, this is in simple the whole syllabus. Okay, coming to the characteristic of culture. Culture is structured. What is structure? What is structure? Very good. So just remember parts. Arrangement of parts is structure. What are the parts in culture? Traits and complexes. So structure is equal to arrangement of parts. Please keep this in mind. It is very important, not just in anthropology, in any subject. So say for example, youth and a old man. Who has got better structure? Youth. Why? The parts are in his place. So he is a very old ante elaguntadu ilaguntadu. Why? The parts are not in proper proportion and place. So very important, structure means arrangement of parts. Parts here, traits and complexes. Please learn here and now. So the arrangements of traits and complexes is said to be social structure. Clear? So here trait means smallest one, like a cell. Cells come together and form a tissue. Tissue performs some functions. Similarly here, traits come together and they form complex. Say for example, there is a plow. All raitas will be having all raitas will be having. So okay, so like this plow which is used to dig. Here bullocks or cow, they will be there. So plow is an example of trait. On the other hand, plow complex. So to till the land, plow unte aipotunda? There has to be one person who will be operating. There should be many other things attached to that. So trait is equal to or synonymous with your cell. This is tissue. Right? Is the concept of social structure culture is having structure clear to you? So what is structure? Arrangement of parts. What are the parts of culture? Traits and complexes. Arrangements of traits and complexes is social structure. So the analogy you have to keep in mind. Traits ante it is like cell. Complex ante tissues. Oh. So what happened here? So anyone know how to operate this one? Okay, nice. Okay, done. So traits synonymous with cell, example any culture artifact. It may be any instrument, flute, violin, or any pot, or anything like a tool, a plow, an alphabet, or a custom or a practice, a trait. Complex is like a tissue. Group of cells form tissue. Example, alphabet complex, the plow complex, which is having an animal, harvesting instrument, and the operator. Right? Arrangement of traits and complexes is referred to as the structure. The same thing. Culture is integrative, means all the parts of the culture are connected to one another. Say for example, in the culture there are some 50 traits. So, okay. So think that there is a culture which is having some 20 traits in a culture. So integrative means all these things are integrated. Say for example, we have got hand, we have got legs, we have got eyes. Are my eyes connected to my leg? Connect ayinda leda? Sir, your good name? Sundar. Oh, very nice name. So nice Sundar in your name. Say for example, football. And the ball comes, I see with my eyes, but I'll take the ball in my leg. Are my eyes and legs connected or not? How we play cricket? We'll see from our eyes, but we bat from our hand. So they are connected. So organic. So please internalize these things. Organic whole or system ante meaning emante all the parts within that are connected to one another. So organisms, this is derived from the term organisms. So if someone says that it is organic whole, it simply means that they are connected. System, what do you understand by system? You have got parts which are connected to each other and also interdependent. So here it is also it is not just the list of traits or complexes, but they are integrated and interrelated. One is integrated and interrelated. Take the example of even any automobile, scooter. So engine, is engine connected to wheels? Connection untundi kada, ledante like it has to run. Is like engine connected to clutch, brake? Definitely. And they are integrated and also interrelated. Culture tends to form system. Culture tends to form a system, a wholeness. But it may not be complete always. Endukante anni components may not be related to one another, connected to one another completely. They are connected. Say for example, my hand and my leg may be connected, but may not be 100%. There may be lacking. Say for example, Sachin Tendulkar is a very good batsman. Why? One of the reasons is he has a great aptitude for seeing the ball and batting. So like I was having this problem. I was very much interested in batting, but always I used to be clean bowled. Why? The reason is I am not able to, like in my body or in my like genetics, it has not come that eye and hand are well coordinated. అలా వస్తుంది అనుకుని మనం like thinking of beating board. So why I said the connection, the degree of connection may vary. 100% connection undalekapovachu. So the same here. So it is only a tendency, but not, no culture is completely integrated. It tends to integrate. Is the point clear to you, or you got confused? So culture tend to integrate, but it may not be 100% integrated, right? So these are the things which you have already studied. Culture is shared, culture is learnt, not hereditary. Culture consists of all human behaviors and all human made products. So here human behavior, in that what are the two types human behavior? Verbal, non-verbal. So in case of material, human made products, material and non-material. So this book, this pen, all these things are material. So non-material means music. Okay. So culture is inculcated. So culture is inculcated by whom? By family, by society. So majorly society. Culture is adaptive. Culture is structured, integrative. Culture is dynamic. So in culture is in dynamic equilibrium. Ante akkada changes will be very, very slow. It takes long time to change. So culture is exhibits stability and also change. In culture there is nothing like today we had this, tomorrow we don't have. Alagem ledu. It takes time to change. Stable for 200 years, afterwards the things may change. Culture is integrative and is a system like a spider's web. So imagine spider's web. In the same way culture. Think that there is a spider web. So ila undi ankondi. So all the parts are connected. So manam ikkade emaina idi cheste, like you may be having the feeling of touching that or any other repercussion in other thing also. Okay. Then rate of change. What are the factors affecting rate of change? Rate of change in society. Changes in society are determined by what factors? Think it over. The changes we see in society or humans are influenced by what? Communication, interaction, contacting. So a very important point. This is like you should imagine little. Before Britishers came, we are not having contact with the other part of the world to a greater extent. When Britishers came, they were like astonished. Are ila kuda untara? Undocha? So traveling, trade, colonization, and now technology, now internet and communication. These are the things which are accelerating the change. So now, what are the factors of production? Yesterday I discussed 4 factors of production: labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Right? So which is the newly added factor of production? Technology. Without technology, can we produce a computer? You may be having all these things. So very important, this question has come in your essay paper and also in your GS also. Technology is a factor of production now. Without technology, we are not able to produce most of the like high-tech goods. Okay. Culture is gratifying. So what does this mean? You should have gratitude. What does this mean? You should feel that what God has given is more than sufficient and you should be happy in general. So here gratifying means pleasing. Culture is pleasing or culture satisfies. What culture satisfies? How can you say that culture is gratifying? Culture satisfies your dash needs. Is the point clear to you? Culture satisfy your needs, biological needs, that is basic, and also secondary needs. Is the point clear to you? So culture is gratifying, means culture satisfy your needs, satisfy the basic needs and also secondary needs. Since it is satisfying our needs, the culture gets reinforced, strengthened, and perpetuates. Say for example, we were having tile. It was of no use because we just from arboreal ecosystem we came to terrestrial ecosystem. So there was no use of tile. So what is the use of tile for monkeys? Do monkeys have tile? Monkeys ki tile untunda leda? Balam. Telugulo emi balame kada? Okay, tile. So what is the use of that? Balancing. Think that you have got a kite. For kite also you will be tying one small thing. So enduku balance. So monkeys, when they used to jump from one tree to another tree, that tile was used as a balancing equipment. So we stopped jumping from one tree to another. Then tile became rudimentary and it is gone. So coming to the thing here, culture is not like the tile which was not of use. Culture is very useful. It is satisfying all your needs. Since it is satisfying all your needs, it is reinforced. Day in and day out, it is becoming strong. Culture is social. What does this mean? Sir, do you have idea of anthropology, society? It appears that you have got some idea. What do you understand by this? Culture is social. Okay, let me help you in this. Already, since we have discussed, I am asking this. Is culture a personal phenomena? Individual phenomena? Is culture an individual phenomena? Culture is always social phenomena. మీరు ఇండివిజువల్ ఫెనామినా అయితే ఇండివిజువల్ హ్యాబిట్ అయిపోతుంది. కల్చర్ ఇస్ ఎ వే ఆఫ్ లైఫ్ ఆఫ్ సొసైటీ. ఇస్ ద పాయింట్ క్లియర్? కల్చర్ అనే వస్తే ఆల్వేస్ సొసైటీ. సో కల్చర్ ఈస్ క్రియేటెడ్ బై సొసైటీ, పర్పాచ్యుయేటెడ్ బై సొసైటీ. కల్చర్ సొసైటీ. సో ఎథిక్స్, ఎథిక్స్ అంటే సొసైటల్ నార్మ్, ఇండివిజువల్ నార్మ్ ఏంటి? నో, ఎథిక్స్ ఆల్వేస్ సొసైటీ. నీతి శాస్త్ర, నీతి శాస్త్ర అనేది ఏమంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ సొసైటీ, నాట్ అబౌట్ ఇండివిజువల్. ఇన్ ద సేమ్ అనాలజీ, కల్చర్ ఆల్వేస్ సొసైటీ, నాట్ ఇండివిజువల్. If individual does, it becomes individual habit, not culture. Culture can only be acquired by an individual as a member of society. If you are not in a society, you cannot acquire culture. So whatever you learn, the way you eat, we always eat with right hand. Why? When we want to give something, we always give in right hand or left hand. Kondaru, like even some merchants, మీరు లెఫ్ట్ హ్యాండ్ ఇస్తే వాళ్ళు తీసుకోరు. సో హౌ ఇట్ హ్యాస్ కమ్? యాజ్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ కల్చర్. ఇట్ హ్యాస్ నాట్ కమ్ ఇన్ యువర్ బ్లడ్. సో అలా చూసుకుంటే ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ లైక్ లెఫ్ట్ హ్యాండ్ ఈజ్ ద వన్ విచ్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ ఇన్ టు కన్సిడరేషన్ దాన్ రైట్ హ్యాండ్, వెరీ నియర్ టు హార్ట్. బట్ వీ హ్యావ్ డెవలప్డ్ దట్. సో వీ ఫీల్ ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ డూయింగ్ సంథింగ్ విత్ రైట్ హ్యాండ్, దెన్ దట్ ఈస్ రైట్. లెఫ్ట్ హ్యాండ్ మీన్స్ apashaktam, something like that. You shouldn't be having these kind of things. లెఫ్ట్ హ్యాండ్లు చేస్తే బాగుండదు, రైట్ హ్యాండ్లు చేస్తే బాగుంటుంది, ఇలాగే సూపర్స్టిషియస్ బిలీఫ్స్ మీరు పెట్టుకోకూడదు. సో దీస్ థింగ్స్ విల్ డెఫినెట్లీ చేంజ్ యాజ్ వి ప్రొసీడ్. యువర్ పర్సెప్షన్ ఆఫ్ గాడ్, యువర్ పర్సెప్షన్ ఆఫ్ రిలీజియన్, యువర్ పర్సెప్షన్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూవర్స్ విల్ చేంజ్. Culture is a social phenomena. culture is always that of society and not that of an individual. Is the point clear to you? These are the characteristics. See, all these characteristics you won't find in one place, in any book. So I'll be providing the PDF. You just go through these things. Read them again and again. Afterwards, notes can be made. No culture is inferior or superior. There are no uncultured individual. So here, you cannot say a tribe or someone as primitive. That will be very derogatory. You may use the term simple societies. Is American society greater than the tribal society or superior than the tribal society? The answer is no. Very, very important. All societies, all cultures same. One may be using more technology. Other may not be using more technology. Some may be depending on the nature itself. Depending on the nature for your survival. Ante enti? Think it over. You have to think. This examination is for thinkers. For your survival, you are depending on the nature directly. Ante enti? Means you are collecting the fruits. Right? You are gathering the fruits. So hunting and gathering type of living. On the other hand, next, domestication of the things. So what you did, instead of you going beyond some birds, you started rearing those things. Domestication, cultivation of crops. Previously what you used to do, you used to go to jungle and you used to harvest the fruits there. You used to harvest the paddy there and you used to come back. That is the primitive, the simple. Afterwards, now you have got technology. You started domesticating the things. Simply because someone is having crores and other is not having, it doesn't mean that you are superior and they are inferior. డబ్బులు ఎక్కువ ఉంటే వాళ్ళు superior అని చెప్పొచ్చా? We can say that they have got more money. They have got more buying capacity, exchange. What is money? What is money? What is money? It's a medium of exchange. What is economy? Two words. Production and distribution of goods and services. సో ఇలాగే మీరు అన్ని దానికి ఒక 2-3 వర్డ్స్లో ఒక డెఫినేషన్ ఫామ్ చేసుకోవాలి. సో మనీ ఈజ్ ద మీన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్. సో సిన్స్ యూ హ్యావ్ గాట్ మోర్ మనీ, యూ మే బీ ఇన్ ఎ పొజిషన్ టు ఎక్స్చేంజ్ ఫర్ మోర్ గూడ్స్, బట్ దట్ డజంట్ మీన్ దట్ యు ఆర్ సుపీరియర్. Similarly here, a society may be having sophisticated equipments. It doesn't mean that that is superior. So in culture, no culture is inferior or superior. All are same. Then culture is created by humans. Why? Other animals, other than humans, are not in a position to create culture? Why? Why animals are not in a position to create culture? Very good, very nice. That is the one. So what is the answer? They don't have symbolic language, not just language. Do animals have language? The answer is yes. Do animals have symbolic language? The answer is no. Right? Symbolic language, very, very important. We learn things and we pass on those things to our future generation through language. Right? Say for example, generally, if a person cannot hear, then definitely the chances are very high that he won't be in a position to speak also. So we call dumb and deaf, both untayi. Why? He was not able to reproduce. So here, culture is created by humans and it is passed on from one generation to another. Animals also learn certain things, but they are not it is not possible for them to pass on to next generation. Why? They lack symbolic language, the most important thing. Animals may be having language. Say for example, they may be having typical sounds, but it is not symbolic. Say dogs, say any like bird or anyone, they may be having language, but that is not symbolic. Culture is universal. It exists in all human societies. So what do you understand by universal? Universal adult franchise. So what do you understand by that? Means all. So culture is universal means all societies have culture. There is no society without culture. Marriage. Is marriage universal? Is marriage present in all societies? Anni. Primitive, American, Chinese. Is family present in all societies? The answer is yes. So marriage, family, culture, all these things are present in all societies and they are universal. Culture has the quality of adaptation. The only permanent thing in life is change. So change is the only permanent thing and you have to change. Similarly, culture also changes. So anything, the way you dress. Say for example, like my parents may not be wearing the same dress I wear. Now I may be wearing. The things I have may be entirely different. So here culture also changes to adjust to the circumstance and environment. Okay. Culture is diffused to another place or other things through cultural contact. So how you come across, how you learn other culture is through contact. Diffusion of the things happen by contact. Culture is an instrument designed to keep the society functional. So culture performs certain functions. By performing certain function, it is fulfilling the needs of the people. So culture is having an instrumental role. So for example, what do you understand by culture is an instrument? So this fan is an instrument. So what is the use of this fan? To like give good breeze. So air conditioner to blow cool air. So here we want cool air, for that we are using an instrument. So we want to write, so we are using marker. Is the point clear? So whenever you get something with the phrase as instrument, means it is performing a function. So culture is not a simple one, it is a complex one. And in culture, as in general life, you will be having ideal one and reality. So ideally, like Sri Rama Purusha rakanga undali. In reality, you may not be. So in culture also we have this. Okay. So anything doubt with respect to culture? As you proceed, as you read, the things get clarified. You will get a concrete idea. Okay. So anthropology. In anthropology, what should be the major focus? Culture or society? There was a big ambiguity. Kondaru cheppevallu, culture should be given more importance. Others said, no. Society should be given more opportunity. Some say that without society there is no culture. Without society there is no culture. Then society should be given more importance or culture? Society. Others said, no. Society to anni, it is there everywhere. But humans are the only people who are having culture. Culture is the one which differentiates me and you and also other societies. Humans are the only people having culture. Culture undali ante society incidental. So they said culture should be given more importance. So in your opinion, which should be given major importance? Or the focus of anthropology, culture undala, society undala? What is your opinion? Society, very good. So is there anyone who says culture? This was in fact like a tug of war in the early periods of anthropological development. So here British anthropologists say that society is more important. So they use the term social anthropology. Right? American anthropologists said no, culture is the most important one. They were having cultural anthropology. In fact, till recently, we were having different subred chapters. Cultural anthropology one section, social anthropology another section, like that. Clear? So make the acronyms. So whenever you have got two things, and if you are getting confused, use some mnemonics or things like that, so that you remember the things forever. Economy. Is economy over for you? Have you heard of repo, reverse repo? Confusion untunda danlo, reverse repo. Monetary policy, fiscal policy. So anything like that, you just learn one thing. The other thing will be incidental. Say for example, monetary policy, fiscal policy. So fiscal policy, remember finance minister. What finance minister does is fiscal policy. Monetary policy, you can remember has money. So money, printing, all these things, RBI. So what RBI does is monetary policy. Money policy in India done by RBI. Fiscal policy by finance minister, Nirmala Sitharaman. So like that you have to remember the things, otherwise you may get confused. So here, like Britain society, American culture. But in India, we were having the influence of both American anthropologists and also anthropologists from Britain. So we use the term socio-cultural anthropology or social cultural anthropology or society culture anthropology. Is the point clear to you? So in India, we are having social and cultural anthropology. Britain, like in Britain, more importance, the focus is given for society. In America, culture. So is the concept of social anthropology, cultural anthropology clear to you? So in fact, they are interdependent. They are the two faces of the same coin. Now they are merged. The same thing here. Social anthropology. The term social anthropology is popular in Great Britain and other Commonwealth nations. So what do you understand by Commonwealth nations? Commonwealth nations are those nations which were ruled by Great Britain. New Zealand, Commonwealth nation na? Yes. Australia, yes. India, yes. Pakistan, yes. Burma, Myanmar, yes. So when did India and Pakistan get separated? So don't worry, these things like confusion unde, like after independence, right? Do you know that Burma, the present Myanmar, was also part of India? Like India, Pakistan undi kada, alage Myanmar also was part of India. So Indian Independence Act separated India and Pakistan. Before that, which act was there? Major Act. Before Indian Independence Act of 1947, there was another act. Before that, some 10-15 years back, what was that? Government of India Act of 1935. So Government of India Act of 1935 separated India from Burma, today's Myanmar. Independence Act of 1945 separated India and Pakistan. So here, the social Commonwealth nation means all those nations which were ruled by Great Britain. Okay, they emphasize on the study of social structure and social relations. Britain, social. They are emphasizing on social structure and relations. To them, society is more important than culture, and culture cannot exist without human society. So they use the term social anthropology, which we have discussed. So for them, culture is not possible without society, so society is important. And some of the examples are Radcliffe Brown, Rivers, Malinowski, Evans Pritchard, and many others. So they concentrated on social structure or social relations. So in that, family, marriage, kinship, economic organization, political organizations. This will suffice. This is just like a keynote which you have to keep in mind. Social anthropology, cultural anthropology, they are huge. We'll be reading huge literature. Right? So let us just once again revise these things. Social anthropology, Great Britain and Commonwealth nations, they concentrated on society. The names Radcliffe Brown, Rivers, Malinowski, Evan Pritchard, they concentrated on family, marriage, kinship, social organizations. Clear? Then cultural anthropology, Americans, they concentrated on culture. So here Atkinson and Hershovick, these were some of the prominent. According to them, culture is that which makes human society distinct. Culture is unique to humans. Since only humans have culture, when we are studying humans, concentration should be on culture. But in India, we are influenced by both British and American traditions. This will be studying when we study like evolution of anthropology in India, how it evolved. So we use the term social cultural or socio-cultural anthropology. So we have not made any distinction because we know that it is impossible to separate one from the another. Okay. Ethnocentrism, cultural relativism. What is this concept? Yesterday I get like brief idea about the thing. Ethnocentrism, cultural relativism. Cultural relativism is a great term provided to the whole humanity by anthropologists. Okay, so like I'll be dictating the notes also as we proceed, because students find that notes is very easy to grasp. So here I'll be giving complete material and also class notes, and also like I'll be providing the PPTs also, what I'll be teaching. But what I request is to jot down some things, because otherwise you will become otherworldly. ఇలాగ ఆలోచించుకొని నేను ఏమో చెప్తుంటే మీరు ఎక్కడో వెళ్ళిపోయి ఉంటారు. అండ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ థింగ్స్ లైక్ 2-3 యూ విల్ బీ ఇన్ ద క్లాస్. ఓకే. Ethnocentrism, cultural relativism. I am from Bangalore. Bangalore, think like that. Or I will take the other way. I am from Hyderabad. తెలంగాణ ముద్దు బిడ్డ అనుకోండి. నా ప్రకారంగా తెలంగాణలో ఏమేమి చేస్తామో మనము, దట్ ఈస్ ఎక్సలెంట్. నో కంపారిజన్ ఫర్ దట్. ఇట్ ఈస్ ద మోస్ట్ సుపీరియర్. సో ఇలాగ ఆలోచించేది ఎథినోసెంట్రిక్. మీన్స్ ఐ ఆమ్ జడ్జింగ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ బై కంపేరింగ్ టు వాట్ ఐ హ్యావ్. Is the point clear to you? So how I am judging you? I am judging by the qualities what I have. And not only that, I consider myself as the most superior being. So here what happens? Think that I think myself very big, very great. నాకిన్న పెద్దోడు, నాకిన్న అది ఇది ఎవరు లేదు, నేనే ఎవ్రీథింగ్ అని అనుకుంటాను. Then if I see you, what I may be thinking? I will be judging based on what I think. Say for example, మన తెలంగాణలో దావత్ ఉంటాయి రెగ్యులర్గా, మీన్స్ పార్టీస్. సో ఇది ఏమంటే ఈ మందు తాగాలి అంటే బాగుండదు అనే ఈ టర్మ్స్ పెట్టారు, పార్టీ, దావత్. సో అకార్డింగ్ టు దెమ్ దావత్ లేదంటే ఎలాగ భయ్, దావత్ ఉండాలి, సెలబ్రేషన్స్ ఉండాలి. వాళ్ళు లైక్ దే ఆర్ మైజర్, దే ఆర్ స్టింజీ, దే ఆర్ నాట్ హ్యావింగ్ ఎనీ పార్టీ. దే సే లైక్ దట్. సో ఆన్ ద అదర్ హ్యాండ్, థింక్ దట్ ఐఎమ్ ఫ్రమ్ అదర్ ఏరియా, థింక్ దట్ ఐఎమ్ ఫ్రమ్ కోస్టల్ ఏరియా, not your coastal area, western coastal area. So when I take my things as the reference, I may say, what these people are doing? రోజు పార్టీ చేసుకొని they are just spoiling their life. Is the point clear? So when I evaluate any culture, any society, taking my culture as a standard, taking my culture as superior, that is said to be ethnocentrism. When I study any culture, taking the things which are present in that culture, that is said to be cultural relativism. So if I am studying something in Telangana society, I should take all the things present in that culture, and then only I have to take into the things. Okay? So did you get this concept a little or got confused? Okay, let me elaborate these things. Ethnocentrism refers to judgment of other cultures solely in terms of one's culture. Right? So you have got one way of life. So if you are judging other culture based on your way of life, that is said to be ethnocentrism. Right? Culturalism is judging other culture in the context of its own culture. Say for example, judging the Rajasthan culture in its own context. In Rajasthan we have got child marriages, many things like that. So here, if you judge the culture of Rajasthan by the things present in Telangana, that is ethnocentrism. If you judge the things in Rajasthan taking into the consideration of things present in that culture itself, that is said to be cultural relativism. Okay? So it simply says that each culture should be viewed within the context of that society's problems and opportunities. So African society, Andaman Islanders, tribes, they should not be, say for example, Andaman Islanders. They are almost some of the like simple societies. They are in the era of, still in the era of hunting and food gathering. సో మనం ఏమైనా వాళ్ళని చూసి మనకిన ఇన్ఫీరియర్ వాళ్ళు, ఏంటి బట్టలు లేవు, సెల్ ఫోన్ లేవు, సో దే ఆర్ ఇన్ఫీరియర్ టు అస్ అని మనం జడ్జ్ చేస్తే, దట్ ఈస్ సెడ్ టు బి ethnocentrism. Why? Because we are judging based on the things which are present in our society. Okay, so this is a classical example for ethnocentrism. Americans, they react negatively to child marriage. Child marriage and oh, is this or child marriage happening? Unbelievable. At the same time, they are overlooking the serial datings they have. In America, in European countries, like by the time a person comes to 8th, 9th, 10th, they generally have these dating things. So dating habits, things like that. So here, they think that dating is okay. If you marry at the same age, it is bad. Are you getting me? So when Americans think negatively of child marriage, but they are not thinking negative of teenagers dating, that is said to be ethnocentrism. Then eating cockroach, how you feel? Cockroach eppudaina tinara? So like if you are in biology background, then at least you might have touched cockroach. Dissection adanni untundi. So I am from agriculture college, so we always used to have cockroach dissection. So otherwise we would have not. So just by seeing cockroaches, like some may feel irritated. So then what about eating cockroaches? So do you feel very irritated by hearing the term eating cockroaches? What about eating snakes? మీరు స్నేక్స్ తింటారా లేదా? Why? Why? Because it is not our culture. It's not there in our culture. So definitely. So then eating dog, eating cat, eating pig, eating cow. So here you may feel bad, you may feel like irritated when you hear all this term. Why? Not culture, and also you are judging these things based on the things which are present in your culture. Is the point clear? Eating cockroaches, eating snakes is not in your culture, so you feel that that is bad, that is irritating. On the other hand, eating, say for example, chicken, so you may not be. The reason that you are evaluating the same. Similarly, say for example, I am from Jain community. So if I think, if I consider eating non-veg is bad, then it is ethnocentric. Okay? So eating sheep, eating chicken, see, this is the one, you might have like all come across this. So here, what are these called in Telugu? Cradle in English. In Telugu? Oh, in Kannada also same, Tottilu. Some societies feel that people are putting the children in these cages. They cannot imagine that children are kept in these kind of things and they are left away. So in primitive societies, in simple societies, children are always carried by some or the other person, or some or the other person will be looking. When they see that these people are putting the babies, so they won't say Tottilu. Tottilu ilagundedi kadu. That was a different thing. Now they have become almost cages itself. So they feel that this is wrong. Think, a primitive man from Andaman Islanders, he comes and he sees this. Say, what is happening? They have kept the children in cage. That is ethnocentrism. Here in United States, in America, like in many other Western countries, adults living alone is cultural. Normal, pretty normal. మనకి ఇప్పుడు ఎలాగనిపిస్తుంది, అరే లైక్ ఫాదర్ మదర్ని ఎవరు అలాగే వదిలేస్తారా? ఇన్ దర్ ఓల్డ్ ఏజ్ నోబడీ ఈజ్ దేర్. We judge like that. On the other hand, there may be families where you will be having all three generations, first generation, second generation, third generation together. So that may be in India or in Southeast Asian countries. Why many judge other cultures strange and meaningless? Think it over. Why many judge other cultures as meaningless and strange? Why? Very good. One step ahead, you have to go. So when can you say that I am darker? When I compare with some person. So similarly, when someone compares other culture with their culture. In addition, there is another point. When I consider my culture as a superior one, my culture is perfect, the things what we are having now is perfect అని అనుకుంటే, other things will be strange, will be meaningless. Can you give example for that? Some aspects of other culture you feel strange and meaningless. Eating cockroaches, చెప్పొచ్చా? Don't you feel strange? A man marrying 5 women, that may appear strange, but it is common in Arab countries. Okay, so this is said to be ethnocentrism. You got any doubt? Okay, most people grow up thinking that their culture is the way of life. మనం ఎలా బతుకుతున్నామో, that is the way of life we think, and that of others is strange and meaningless. It is mainly because we consider our culture to be judged. We consider our own culture to judge other culture. This attitude is known as ethnocentrism. Okay? Is the concept of ethnocentrism clear? Cultural relativism. So what do you understand by cultural relativism? Opposite of this. Can you try to come up with some explanation as to what cultural relativism is? Please, once again. Near, but not exactly. So here the same one. See here, judging other cultures based on your culture is ethnocentrism. Judging other cultures based on their own problems, their own circumstances, not your things. That is said to be cultural relativism. సో తెలంగాణ కల్చర్ అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోవాలి అంటే నీ కల్చర్ కంపేర్ చేసుకొని అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోకూడదు. తెలంగాణలో ఏది ఎలాగుందో దాన్ని బట్టి మీరు అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోవాలి. దట్ ఈస్ కల్చరల్ రిలేటివిజం. ద ఆపోజిట్ ఆఫ్ ఎథనోసెంట్రిజం ఈస్ కల్చరల్ రిలేటివిజం. ఇట్ ఈస్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద ఐడియా దట్ ఈచ్ కల్చర్ మస్ట్ బి అండర్స్టూడ్ ఇన్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ స్టాండర్డ్స్. The people are eating cockroaches in China. That should be understood in that context itself. దాన్ని మీరు ఇండియన్ కాంటెక్స్ట్ తీసుకువస్తే స్ట్రేంజ్ అనిపిస్తాయి. సో మస్ట్ బి అండర్స్టూడ్ ఇన్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ స్టాండర్డ్స్. ద బిలీఫ్స్ అండ్ వాల్యూస్ ఆఫ్ ఎ కల్చర్ షుడ్ నాట్ బి యూస్ టు జడ్జ్ ద అదర్ కల్చర్స్. సో ద సేమ్ థింగ్ I have told, no culture is inferior, no culture is superior. Each culture is unique, one of its kind. So when you think like that, you develop respect, appreciate the cultural diversity. Say for example, religion. Say for example, if you are a Muslim, you are judging other religion based on what you have, and you are feeling that they are strange and negative. So that is ethnocentrism. So whether it is Islam, whether it is Christianity, whether it is Hinduism or any tribal religion, so it should be seen in its own context. Okay. So cultural relativism is the most important contribution of anthropologists to humanity. So the concept itself is given by anthropologists. How to develop the attitude of cultural relativism? So is the concept of cultural relativism clear? Can you try to put them in your words? Cultural relativism ante enti? Judging other cultures based on their own problems, their own situations. ఆ సిచ్యుయేషన్లే జడ్జింగ్ తెలంగాణ కల్చర్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్. తెలంగాణలో ఎలాగుంది, ఏముంది, దాన్ని బట్టి జడ్జ్ చేస్తే అది కల్చరల్ రిలేటివిజం. జడ్జింగ్ తెలంగాణ కల్చర్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ కర్ణాటక కల్చర్, వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ కాల్డ్? ఎథనోసెంట్రిజం. రైట్? సో కల్చరల్ రిలేటివిజం ఎలా డెవలప్ చేసుకోవాలి? హౌ టు డెవలప్ కల్చరల్ రిలేటివిజం? So unity and integrity. So how to develop unity and integrity in India? By knowledge. Say for example, say coming to the same thing itself. Say for example, China. So if you have knowledge about China, then you will be having broader idea. If you have empathy. So what do you mean by empathy? Putting yourself in other shoes and thinking. What is empathy? Putting yourself in other shoes and thinking what they feel. Say for example, there is a man who is not having 2 legs. So empathy ఏంటంటే you put yourself in the position of that man who is not having legs. Think. That is empathy. So whenever like you do those things, you will get to know exactly what their problem is. So here, to understand, to develop cultural relativism, you should have the knowledge. You should have empathy. You should have compassion. So here, sympathy, empathy, compassion. Have you heard these terms? Sympathy, karuna. Sympathy ఏంటంటే, oh, I pity that person, he is not having legs. Sympathy. Empathy అంటే ఏంటి? What is empathy? Putting yourself in that person's shoes, understanding his feelings, understanding his problem is empathy. Clear? So ఒక అతను, there is a man who is not having legs. అయ్యో అతనికి లెగ్స్ లేదు. That is sympathy. Understand these things. These are very important terms. You have this in ethics in your society also. There is a man who is not having legs. You put yourself in his shoes. What are the problems he is facing? What are the things you will be finding difficult? You don't think that that person is not having legs. Would he have any problem or not? So that is said to be empathy. Compassion ఏంటంటే, that person is having problem. You trying to do something to help to overcome that problem is compassion. So that person is not having legs. So artificial legs. So if you provide or if you give some money, then that is said to be compassion. So are these three terms clear to you? Sympathy, empathy, compassion. So compassion, the most important thing ఏంటంటే, you try to solve the difficulty. You try to solve the problem. That is compassion. Empathy means understanding your other problem as it is by putting yourself in other shoes. Sympathy means just it's a pity. Okay, so you should have empathy, compassion, tolerance, and by learning others' cultures, by way of making friendship, by sharing food, by reading books, by listening to music, by appreciating the differences of other culture, you can develop cultural relativism. So how can you have good bond with anyone? You can have good bond with anyone by sharing. Say for example, think that there are two people who are eating in the same plate. Do you think they are good friends, or they are like well-known friends, or they are strangers? So you should be sharing. Similarly, by sharing the things, we develop cultural relativism. Okay. So the same thing, does cultural relativism mean that actions of other culture or of our own culture should not be judged? Cultural relativism means to judge one's culture by his own culture things. So does that mean that, or does it mean that anthropologists should not make moral judgments? See, for example, there is a society, there is child marriage. ఆ సొసైటీ వాళ్ళకి మీరు వెళ్ళి అడిగితే, there is a society where child marriage is prevalent. If you go and ask people in that society, will they say negative about child marriage or positive about child marriage? Positive. So when you see the things in its own context, then they will say positive. Then should that mean that anthropologists or others should not judge them? ఏదైనా సొసైటీలు జరిగేది ఆ సొసైటీ దృష్టికోణాల నుంచి చూస్తే అది కరెక్టే. దే ఫీల్ దట్ దట్స్ రైట్. నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్, డస్ ఇట్ మీన్ దట్ anthropologists should not bring about change? So these are the very important questions which are asked. So cultural relativism, in that applied aspects are these, on these questions have come. So now another one, untouchability is present in Indian society. It is one of the heinous things. It is a disgrace to humanity. So just by birth, some feel that they are superior. So I belong to Sharma, I belong to Divedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi, I am a Reddy, I am a Kamma, things like that. they feel very high, and others are looked down. Nowhere in the world you have got such a kind of policy. Just by birth, just by birth, just by birth, you are born in some family, you feel very good, very high of you. So it's a very unfortunate thing. So can untouchability be allowed on the basis of cultural relativism? So what cultural relativism says, that you should be judging, evaluating the things present in a society, in a culture, based on the things present in that culture itself. So అలాగనుకుంటే, according to that, cultural relativism, according to cultural relativism, untouchability may not be wrong, because the people present in that society may not feel that that is negative. What about infanticide? So what is infanticide? Infant అంటే ఎవరు? స్మాల్. ఇన్సెక్ట్ అంటే క్రిమికీటాలు. ఇన్సెక్టిసైడ్ that kills insects. ఇలాగే ఇక్కడ infanticide, killing the small infants. Why they are killed? Generally because of girl child. So it's still prevalent in northern part of India, especially Punjab, Haryana, those areas. So infanticide, is this justable on the ground? Traditionally it was thought raising a girl is not that easy. It is very difficult. కళ్ళలో కళ్ళు పెట్టి చూసుకోవాలి, something like that, very difficult. And afterwards you have to give dowry. దాని తర్వాత మళ్ళీ like you have to look after everything. So what is the best way? To kill the baby, small young baby itself. Do you think that is acceptable? Then what if a society practices slavery? If you see the things according to that society itself, slavery is also good. Then violence against women, torture, genocide. So here, in the name of cultural relativism, can we justify all these things? What is your answer? The answer is no. So you should be looking, you should be evaluating anything in its own context, but it should be based on logic. It should be based on reason. Each culture views its beliefs and values as good and upright, isn't it? So if you are in any culture, you will definitely say that my culture is good. For example, the practice of untouchability, infanticide, and similar other practices are not considered as evil by the insider. Child marriage, పెద్ద ఈవిల్ అని ఎవరైనా కన్సిడర్ చేస్తున్నారా? Is there anyone considering? There are huge number of marriages, especially child marriages, going in Rajasthan and other places. Have you done anything substantial as individual? No. So because they won't consider that as an evil. So like there was a freedom fighter, in fact, his name I forgot. So he was fighting against child marriage. He was saying that child marriage is bad, but he got his daughter, who was 13 years, got married to some Raja. So here, things apart, these things, if we see from the insider point of view, he says that they are not bad. Okay. This shows that what an insider considers as culture may be different from what an outsider perceives. Outsiders perceiving your culture and insiders perceiving the culture are different. So this gives rise to another two important terms known as emic and etic. So emic view, etic view, a very important construct. Here how to make mnemonics. Emic, M is there, means me, means what insiders think of culture is said to be emic. Etic ante what outsiders think of culture. So the same here, emic and etic, what people think about their own culture is emic. So just concentrate on this and like master it. What people think about their own culture is emic, me. What an outsider thinks about a culture, other than his own, is etic. Is the point clear to you? So please like internalize this one. Emic and etic. This is the simplest and most accurate definition. So what is emic? What is etic? What outsider thinks about other cultures. That's it. These are not that easy. I am making this simple. These are very, very important. Maybe like for the last 2-3 days, if you have heard the class, if you have concentrated and if you have grasped, in my opinion, like some 20 to 25 questions in the whole anthropology paper can be answered. Okay. Okay. So with respect to ethnocentrism, problem is that you stop thinking in a very rational way. You stop questioning about your culture. You take the things for granted. So that in fact hinders your understanding. The very beginning I told you, if you are a really like a very serious aspirant of UPSC, you should never think yourself as a boy or girl, as a person belonging to Telangana, Karnataka, as a person like who is from upper caste, lower caste. No. Why? It hinders your understanding. Holistic understanding undadu. Say for example, think this one. We have to respect women. So here, you should not think yourself to begin with as a boy or girl, man or woman. We should respect women. What does this mean? It is concerning for you also. It doesn't mean that men should be respecting. It also means that women also should respect women. Did you get the difference? When you think that I am a girl, I'll be thinking that okay, women should be respected ante men should respect women ane alustam. That should not be the one. Women should be respected ante it should be respected all. Okay? So these are some of the things, and with respect to society and civilization we'll discuss in the next class. Civilization ki oka chinna hint ipude cheptanu. Writing is the most crystallized form of expression. Alphabets, writing ఎప్పటి నుంచి వచ్చాయో అప్పటి నుంచి సివిలైజేషన్ స్టార్ట్ అయింది. బిఫోర్ సివిలైజేషన్ లైక్ బిఫోర్ రైటింగ్, సో వాట్ ఈస్ కల్చర్ ఈస్ దట్ విచ్ ఈస్ పాస్డ్ ఆన్ ఫ్రమ్ వన్ జనరేషన్ టు అనదర్. సో వీ ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ త్రూ ఓరల్ మీన్స్. రైటింగ్ వచ్చినప్పుడు తర్వాత ద థింగ్స్ హ్యావ్ బికమ్ ప్రెటీ క్లియర్, రైట్? సో వెన్ డిడ్ సివిలైజేషన్ స్టార్ట్? With the origin of writing, right? So that is the one thing with which we will wind up the session. So if you have got any doubt or any queries, please let me know. So how is your preparation? Are you enjoying your preparation? मज़ा आ रहा है preparation में? Like while you are reading, are you feeling daily that you are going for a trip or a movie? అలాగ అనిపిస్తుందా? అలాగ అనిపించాలి. ఇంటెన్షనల్లీ మీరు అలాగ వెళ్ళాలి. అరే ఇప్పుడు చదువుదానికి వెళ్తున్నాను, లైక్ యూ షుడ్ ఫీల్ లైక్ దట్ యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద హ్యాపీయెస్ట్ థింగ్. అది అలాగే అలవాటు అయిపోతుంది. So when you enjoy the journey, success is incidental. And let me tell you a truth. I have not come across any individual who has prepared well and who has failed. So if I have failed, if someone failed, the reason is they have not prepared well. So I take this stage to tell another important aspect which is required for you. UPSC is a different game. The players are unknown. See, now you are just entering. Already 10 lakh people are there. Just like August 31st, mains was over. All these people will be writing next year mains also. If they don't get IAS, even IPS people will be writing. I know many friends of mine, even after getting IPS, they wrote for years. IAS వచ్చేదాకా రాస్తే ఉంటారు. And not only that, there are many people who will be preparing for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and afterwards giving their first attempt. Ananya Reddy, third ranker. ఆమెకు ఎలా వచ్చింది ఇది? షీ జాయిండ్ ఐఏఎస్, డిగ్రీ ప్లస్ ఐఏఎస్ అని ఉంటుంది కదా, అది ఈవెన్ ఐ థింక్ ఇన్ 10+2 ఆల్సో. ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ షీ వెంట్ టు ఢిల్లీ, ఢిల్లీ యూనివర్సిటీ. She took coaching, everything afterwards. See, her in first attempt, she cleared. So here the point is, many have cleared this exam in their first attempt, but not in the first year of preparation. So it takes time. See, say for example, when you keep Ananya Reddy and you, are you in the same stage? ఆమె వచ్చేదానికి ఆల్రెడీ 6 years ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి వచ్చింది. అలాగే చాలామంది ఉంటారు. The competition is high, huge. If you don't have any reservation, clearing it, this is very, very difficult. Getting IAS, very, very difficult. My senior, Ramesh Reddy, he got 54th rank. He did not get IAS. Because IAS was over by 53. So, అందుకే నేను what I say is, you should be writing even the state exams, SSC and other UPSC exams. Is the point clear to you? I made this mistake, and most of the students, UPSC students generally make this mistake. వాళ్ళు ఎలాగంటే కలెక్టర్ అవ్వాలి అని వచ్చేసి ఉంటారు. కలెక్టర్ వదిలేసి వాళ్ళకి ఏమీ కనిపించదు. అయితే ఐఏఎస్ లేదంటే లేదు, వాళ్ళు అలాగే అయిపోతుంది. There are many friends of mine who never cleared UPSC prelims. They wrote group 1. They are in very, very good position. Very, very good position. They never cleared prelims in spite of reservation. తర్వాత క్లియర్ చేసుకున్నారు. So SSC, CGL and other UPSC conducted exams like EPFO, they are very, very good. Say IAS, I think it is said to be grade 10. EPFO, grade 8. SSC, CGL, all these things, grade 6 and 7. They are pretty easy. The reason being, competition takwa. IAS lo, the major reason why the exam is difficult ante, competition is very, very high. And at the same time, if you have the liberty, you should be joining for master degree also. Edaina, say for example, anthropology. Take anthropology as a part of your masters. On open degree, open university. 2 years lo meeku master degree vachestundi. Right? So enjoy the journey, success will be yours. So anthropology, you leave it to me. Just say and do what I say, it will be more than sufficient.